Hi, Theoanist here, and I'm going to tie my Spey Goldie, um, variation of a real popular North Platte fly from the Reef fly shop around here called the Goldie. Certainly no complaints with the Goldie as is. I just, for a fly designed to be fished on the swing, this is one that I find to work just a little bit better for that practical purpose. So, first thing I'm going to do is, generally I guess if I was being real meticulous about this, I would be tying it with a white thread. Point is, thread color really doesn't matter, seeing it's all going to be underwork. So, first thing I'm going to do is tie in my underbody materials. And first thing is a gold chenille. And then on top of that is going to be a gold body braided chenille. So I'm going to tie those two in simultaneously. So we'll start here at the front, and I'm just going to tie those in, wrapping them in along the side, right to about the hook point. And then I'm going to take my rabbit strip, and I use a flesh colored rabbit, and you just want to cut it so it's about the length of the hook, maybe just slightly longer. We don't necessarily want a lot of tail on this because then you get short strikes. If you've seen my swing leech, you can certainly string this fly out and tie it that way, and works equally well. So we're going to tie that rabbit strip, bind it down right there, advance my thread forward, and then I'm going to take my gold chenille, it's just a glimmer chenille, and we're going to spin that forward. About right here. Capture that. And you want to leave yourself a little bit of room up here because you're going to have a lot more going on there in a second. And I'm going to take that body bright chenille and just wrap that over that. And the reason I do that underbody is it just helps give this fly a little bit more body. And with each wrap, you just want to make sure you're not catching those gold fibers from the previous wrap. And I want to put a little bit of a base down here. A couple more wraps there at the head. Capture that. I'm going to take this piece of rabbit, run it right over the top. If you know it's going to be long, just trim a little bit out. And so we're going to bind that down right there. Alright, so there is step one. Now if you were fishing this as just a traditional cast and strip fly, you could almost call it quits right there. But if we want to make it more of a Spey specific fly and make it swim, even if it's not necessarily being stripped, here are a few more steps we need to add to it. So this is a material called, I believe it's called, what is it? It's Hanked Light Bright in Pearl Blue and Gold from Spirit River. Some cool material I just found that works really well on this fly. So first thing I'm going to do is just kind of take a little bit right here, and I'm just going to spread it equally around the fly. Like so. And get in here with your scissors and just kind of make sure it's all even. You can see that. And don't want any pieces really extending too much longer than the tail. Alright. Then I'm going to take a hook, just any hook you might have around, and I'm going to split. See if I can get in here and show you how I'm doing this. Just going to take that hook, and you need a UTC thread to do this. I'm going to get in there and I'm going to split the thread with another hook, and I'm going to use this for a dubbing loop. See there, I have a split in the thread, and it won't weaken the thread. Well, not enough to inhibit what you're about to do. So now I'm going to take white Arctic fox, and I'm going to stuff that in there. Let's see there, and we just want to make sure that it's all even, and pull tight, and I'll twist around in there. Give a little bit extra, just trim that out evenly. Alright, so now I'm going to take that Arctic fox and just make sure it wraps around evenly around the fly. Gives you a good coverage all around. Alright. That's about right. Alright, then I'm going to take another round of that diamond bright, or I'm sorry, the pearl light bright, and I've gone both ways. Sometimes I'll dub it on, and I'll show you both ways here. So you can kind of dub it. Now you don't want a real tight dub, you just want it so when you wrap it, it gets all the way around. And then every spin, just kind of pull it back like that. And then just get in here with your scissors or bodkin, whatever, and just pull it back like that. And then final step, I'm going to take some marabou, and it's a strong marabou. And I want to give myself enough for about 3 to 4 spins. Tie it in at the tip. Get a little extra bit out. And we're going to spin that marabou. So make sure your thread is on the forward side of it, towards the cone head. And that's a, if I didn't mention earlier, that's a gold medium-sized tungsten cone head. And I tied this fly on a salmon steelhead hook from Tiemco, Umpqua. Same thing. Any salmon steelhead hook will probably work though. Generally you can tie it in size 4s through about size 8 on the small end. Alright, so get that wrapped around. Make sure no fibers are running into each other. Go ahead and capture that. Trim out your stem. And wet finish. And that right there is my Spey Goldie. Certainly going to give credit where credit is due. This is a Reef fly shot pattern in its original design, which is tied more like a bugger. But decided to kind of spay it out a little bit and make it a fly that's a little better on the swing. And this fly definitely swims just a little bit better if your idea is to swing it as opposed to more of a cast and strip fly. So there you have it, Spey Goldie. Definitely want to have with you on the North Platte or anywhere where white flies tend to be the go-to standard.